underway, and the leadoff hitter is out. As you see, the starting pitcher for UT is, in fact, Kate DeSimone, as Brandon and I had foreshadowed. Hopefully you were with us watching the broadcast of Game 1 of this scheduled doubleheader. The Spartans winning that game by a score of 4-1. I'm Bruce Wozniak, and UT perfect on the 2023 season. 7 wins to start this season. And fittingly, the starting pitcher for UT here is wearing number 7. And the batter right now for Palm Beach Atlantic is Bree Rodriguez. So that leadoff hitter was Kendall Bear, retired by way of a ground out. And now 1-2 the count here against Bree Rodriguez. Kate DeSimone gets the sign from catcher Lexi Chevalier, as you see that one fouled down the left field line. We appreciate you spending your Saturday, with us here on TampaSpartans.tv as you see the first strikeout of the game for Kate DeSimone. 2 down here in the top of the first. It is 85 degrees on this Saturday afternoon. We have reached what was the forecast high. And now ball 1 to Dalen Hetmanic. DeSimone winds, delivers, and bunt. And DeSimone will help her own cause by throwing over to Alexa Russo, who came over to cover at first for out number 3. So for the Sailfish in the first, no runs on no hits. There were no Spartan errors and no Sailfish runners left on base. The Spartans will get their first at-bat of the second game when we return on TampaSpartans.tv. Lauren Fantone to lead things off here in the bottom of the first for UT against starting pitcher Karen Vasquez, a sophomore righty for Palm Beach Atlantic University. And her first pitch of this game is outside low for ball 1. Showing bunt was Fantone. Manages to get ball 2. Vasquez comes into this game with an impressive 1.05 earned run average. Two and 2 1-loss record. And now here's the 3-0. Fantone showed bunt again, and that time Vasquez gets a strike. now the count goes full against Lauren Fantone. And that one will be ball 4. So Fantone, who really has a lot of success as the leadoff hitter reaching base, does so by way of a base on balls here to start game 2 of this doubleheader. And as a result, we will see Lily Keister, the Spartans center fielder. And Lily shows bunt, drops it down nicely, and they do. Oh, there's an overthrow. And so Fantone's going to go to third as Keister is aboard. UT with runners on the corners here to start this bottom of the first. And in game 1 of this doubleheader, the first inning was where the home team did the majority of the damage. They got 3 of their 4 runs in the bottom of the first. And all of a sudden, bottom of the first in game 2, and the first 2 runners are on base. Alexa Russo, no outs. And hold on, because the coach of Palm Beach Atlantic, Ty Singleton, asked the home plate umpire for time. He wants to go and check on Dallas Watterson, his third base player. And Watterson, is it a hamstring issue perhaps? And looks like Singleton is taking Watterson to the dugout. And let's see if this is going to be an injury replacement or if it's we want the trainer to have a quick look at you. He being Singleton is going to talk to the home plate umpire, and that looks like it's obviously going to be a lineup change. So Watterson is going to come out due to injury. And let's see who this is coming in. It's going to be indeed an injury replacement. Madison Schlichte, freshman, now playing at third. And the first pitch to Russo, and there goes the runner, and both runners are safe. So Lily Keister with the stolen base, and Fantone holds at third. So the Spartans, I think, taking advantage of the circumstances, which were Palm Beach Atlantic making that lineup change due to injury and not giving them a chance to get settled and let that all settle in with them. And, well, wow, Singleton really pleading his case here. Really, really upset. And really having a tough time going back to the dugout. Still turning around one more time and giving it to the home plate umpire. And so the Spartans, with 2 runners in scoring position, and the dangerous Alexa Russo, the number 3 hitter at the plate. And very interesting start to this first inning. And Russo sends that one to short, over to first, and the runners hold. So another smart heads up. We've just seen great defensive play from Ebony Rodriguez. Last night's game, the first game of the doubleheader, and now that play there. So one away. And the Spartans cleanup hitter, Cameron Weininger. The 0-1 to Weininger, and smacks that one for a base hit. And scoring for the Spartans will be Lauren Fantone as Keister advances to third, and it's an RBI single for Cameron Weininger. That brings up Mariah Galehouse, who pitched a complete game victory in Game 1 of this doubleheader, and is in this game playing right field. Oh and 1 to Galehouse. Showing bunt, drops it down nicely, and called out. And I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that vehemently, and I think that's kind of some payback from the umpire saying, "You're welcome to the Palm Beach Atlantic head coach." Let me tell you, I'm not being a homer. That was safe at first, and the umpire says, you can thank me later, Sailfish fans. Runners at second and third, though, and now chopped to third and over to first. And so the Sailfish escape what could have been a potentially volatile first inning as they were victims of in Game 1. Nonetheless, the Spartans do put a run up on the board. They get 2 hits, no errors, and we'll go to the top of the second with the home team in the lead, 1-0, here on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back here at the Namoli Family Stadium, Spartans starting pitcher Kate DeSimone is all set to go with inning number 2 here. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Brandon Davis, as the Spartans have an early 1-0 lead. And to lead things off, we're going to see Ebony Rodriguez. And Brandon, we've been talking about Ebony Rodriguez all day defensively, and obviously she'd love to get noticed with her bat.
DeSimone looking sharp earlier today. So far, no hits given up.
Rodriguez, I've noticed watching her over the course of last night and the first game today, a very patient hitter. Very mature for a sophomore, as the 2-0 on the way to her, and sends that one to right field, and Galehouse handles that one easily for out number 1. Madison Schlichty, who we saw come in as the injury replacement player at third base for Dallas Watterson, now at the plate. And strike 1 to her. DeSimone winds, delivers, and a little high. Ball 1. Kate DeSimone, a sophomore. And so Brandon last night As that one's chopped, and Ballmer nicely from short, and not going to be in time, however. Last night on the broadcast, I talked about the fact that when you see players like Corinne Miner that have moved on and players that rotate through the program, you do need to start looking at who's going to be the replacement, who are going to be the new veterans, the new reliables that we count on for many years. And I think Kate DeSimone trying to make that case, and I think Leslie Cantor giving her a look for exactly that reason.
Yeah. And she's only a sophomore, Bruce, like you previously mentioned. Ooh, a scary play on that one. Ballmer shaking up on that one. But she gets up. I think she tripped on Schlichty. But Schlichty is safe.
I'll tell you what, give the runner credit, though. Good speed on the base paths. The stolen base there that puts the Sailfish with a runner in scoring position. Only one out here in the top of the second. Count 0-2, however, to Larkin Maceda.
Oh! Right on the back
Maceda
shoulder.
Hit by pitch. Wow. And that one,
Maceda.
you hear it all the way up here.
Ooh.
And that's a tough one. And I'm got to believe that we're probably going to see a pinch runner for her. And that would be tough for Singleton to lose 2 players to injury in the same game, not to mention so early on. This is only the top of the second. And it was the bottom of the first when we saw Dallas Watterson, the Sailfish third base player, get replaced due to what appeared to be, don't quote me on this, but possibly a hamstring injury. And a hit by pitch there that Larkin Maceda, you can see being attended to by 2 training staff members from the UT dugout. And her head coach very, very, very close by, looking on. As Bella O'Connor, by the way, is going to be the next hitter.
I don't want to deviate just too much, but I was looking at Madison Schlichty. She actually attended St. Thomas Aquinas High School. She's actually the sister of Parker Schlichty, who's on the Tampa Spartans baseball team. As you can see, both from Fort Lauderdale.
And both attended St. Thomas Aquinas High School.
Yep.
Interesting playing the bat and ball sports, albeit at different schools. And so Larkin Maceda actually staying in the game? No. And there she goes. She will go to the dugout. And coming in as a pinch runner is Rhiannon Sibbett from all the way in the Pacific Northwest, Washington State. And head coach Ty Singleton talking to the home plate umpire, presumably about that change. And really, really tough start, Brandon, for the Sailfish, losing 2 players to injury this early in the game.
And DeSimone, let's see if she can control her pitching accuracy and not let it get ahead of this game, as it's been a pretty tense second game after having a pretty easy course first one.
And Bella O'Connor swings and misses. She's the number 7 hitter, a freshman, the designated player in this game. Next pitch from DeSimone. Swung on and missed.
Good pitch by DeSimone.
Let's not overlook, as much as we're talking about the injuries, the fact that the Sailfish only have 1 out, and they have runners on first and second. There is opportunity here, as there's a swing and a miss, however, for Kate DeSimone, registering her 2nd strikeout of the game.
Well, O'Connor, she's just on numerous occasions just swung and a miss, but her head was turned out, so she never really had a good look on the ball.
It brings up Gracie Mullet, the right fielder. And ball 1 to her. Nice little start to this game for Kate DeSimone. And she's going to get a visit from her catcher, Lexi Chevalier. Lexi, of course, saw all of these batters not only in Game 1, but last night in the Spartans come-from-behind win. And so obviously she has some advice for her starting pitcher here in Game 2. A doubleheader between Sunshine State Conference opponents. Chevalier looking to her dugout and now gets the signal to DeSimone, and that one is fouled back to the screen by Mullet. And yes, they're working on a Saturday in the outfield. You probably see and can possibly hear the construction, as there's one that just does not make the strike zone. And so Gracie Mullet ahead in the count now, 2-1. And that one's outside, ball 3. Dangerous territory here, as DeSimone is running the risk of a walk that would load the bases. And answers back with strike 2. And that changes the complexion of this at-bat, as the count is full to Gracie Mullet, a junior from down in Sarasota. Here's the pitch. Pops it up. Steph Ballmer calls for it, and that will retire the Sailfish in the top of the second. The visitors, no runs on 1 hit. No Spartan errors, 2 runners left on base. We'll be back with more softball on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Back here to start the bottom of the second. Some changes being made by the Sailfish. Madison Schlichte has moved to catcher, and Kendall Bear, instead of playing second, is now at third. Obviously, Ebony Rodriguez still the shortstop. Sammy Perez is the first base player. And Rhiannon Sibbett, who we had seen come in as a pinch runner, she is now playing second as Bear goes over to third. Caroline Watson, the designated player, into the batter's box for the University of Tampa. Her first plate appearance, of course, of this game. UT sent 6 batters to the plate in the bottom of the first. And the first pitch swung on and sent into foul territory and not played. So 0-1.
ball low in the ground again for Vasquez.
And the 1-1 on the way. Swung on, and that one finds the hole. A nice diving attempt there, albeit unsuccessful by Rhiannon Sibbett.
Yeah, the ball was soaring very slowly, and it seemed that Sibbett was going to get that diving catch, but no, nevertheless, she couldn't. The ball actually tipped off the glove to decrease the velocity on that one, so that way the defenses come in and get the ball easier. But good effort by Sibbett, but better execution by Watson.
And we're going to see Gabby Mack, freshman, number 8 hitter. She'll be playing first base, is playing first base in this game.
Mac, this is her third at bat. Excuse me, her sixth at bat. Previously scored in the previous games, but relatively new for this season, Bruce. So it's a good thing we're going to get some action from her in this second game as a freshman to get some extra reps.
She's behind in the count 0-2. And awaiting the pitch from Karen Vasquez. It's on the way. And she sends that one to center field. It drops for a base hit. They try at second. And safe is Caroline Watson.
It's very controversial on that one, but she was safe because Sibbett's foot was not on the bag yet. She took her foot off the bag. So now that's the reason why she's safe. A lot of people were shocked on that one, but Sibbett just failed to execute on that one. I believe that, in my opinion, that Watson should have advanced more quicker because that ball did not sail the way it should have. I think that it was relatively obvious that it was going to be a base hit, but nevertheless, it worked out in her favor. So there's going to be a pinch runner. So Siegel will come in as another pinch runner for Watson to advance the speed on the base running. We'll see if that will work out as we have zero outs here, Bruce, and we have the 1 minute scoring position.
Steph Ballmer, the batter. And an opportunity for the Spartans here with nobody out in the bottom of the second and runners on first and second. A pitch from Vasquez showing bunt, and that one's going to drop foul. Surprised at all, Brandon, to see them trying the bunt?
No. They're just trying to advance the runners and try to get them into better scoring position, get this momentum going early on, just like last game. Nothing has changed for the Spartans.
The 0-1, and Ballmer did show bunt again there. You see that as the count goes even. The 1-1 to Ballmer. She shows bunt, drops it down nicely. Played by Vasquez over to first, and it's dropped. And how about that?
So Perez drops it. A poorly executed, routinely ground ball. Now we have bases loaded here, no outs. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 lead for the Spartans. This is dangerous, dangerous territory for the Sailfish. They don't want to test these grounds because the Spartans will definitely capitalize on this opportunity.
And the Spartans are now back to the top of the order. Lauren Fantone, who's really become a very reliable hitter for head coach Leslie Cantor. This is a very difficult spot for Palm Beach Atlantic with the bases loaded. As you mentioned, nobody out, and finding themselves facing the top of the UT order. And you see the conference happening out in the circle. And right away the Spartans players all come in to listen to their head coach. Bit of a rocky start here for Karen Vasquez. And the conference is over. And Lauren Fantone, she walked to lead off the game. And takes strike one there as the count goes even. 2 errors already in this game for the Sailfish, and we're only in the bottom of the second. And Fantone follows that one back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Oh, lined back to Vasquez. She goes home, bounces it, and the runner crosses the home plate safely. That was Siegel, and now also scoring is Gabby Mack.
Ooh, I'm shocked this has come. It was a relatively easy instinctual play by Vasquez. She could have conceded the run and go to first, but nevertheless she went to the home plate. But that's just poor execution. Numerous occasions we've seen this. I think this happened approximately 3 or 4 times in this half inning. But yes, this is very unfortunate for the Sailfish. They could have easily closed out this inning in three outs, but now they don't even have an out, and they just conceded 2 runs.
And Fantone, by the way, ends up at second base.
Yeah.
Balmer at third. So after the Sailfish watch 2 more runs come across the plate, the Spartans still have 2 more runners in scoring position. And now we are going to see the pitching change.
And if you're the Sailfish's coach, if you're head coach Ty Singleton, you have to question yourself in this type of scenario, because this is type of an epidemic that we don't want to happen. So this is the reason why Vasquez's night has ended, and now we have Chloe Nepov, I believe so. Very French last name. Nervo.
So a short afternoon for Karen Vasquez. Karen Vasquez goes to the dugout, and Palm Beach Atlantic needing to get out of this, already trailing 3-0 before things go from bad to worse. Let's see if Chloe Nepvo is the answer. A sophomore right-handed pitcher. And here she is facing Lily Keister, the Spartan center fielder, who is the number 2 hitter in Leslie Cantor's batting order for Game 2 of this doubleheader. Spartans won last night 2-1. They won Game 1 of this doubleheader 4-1. The count is 1-1 here against Keister. Alexa Russo in the on-deck circle. Runner on second is Fantone. The runner on third is Balmer. And that one's going to be outside for ball 2. Here's the 2-1. And that's up high for ball 3.
I would say good patience by Keister. You know, I know she wants to slap hit it, try to get Balmer home real quick, but waiting for the right pitch.
And that's ball 4. And so the base is loaded for Alexa Russo. And Brandon goes without saying that the Spartans are certainly licking their lips right now, just tasting
They're loving it.
The potential of the opportunity they have before them.
So here's Russo. Russo had a good outing in Game 1.
Sends a bomb to right field, and that'll be caught. Runner tags up, though, and scoring is Steph Balmer. And UT goes up 4-0, as Fantone, of course, advances to third.
Yeah.
Spartans with 2 runners in scoring position. If you're the Sailfish, the takeaway from that is we finally got one out.
Yeah.
Cameron Weininger is the batter. And here's the 0-1 to her. And make it 0-2. That one got away from Nepvo a little bit. Count is 1-2. And that one's outside. Ball 2. Spartans had a 3-run bottom of the first in game 1 earlier today, and now they have a 3-run second, and that's bobbled. And another run crosses the plate as Fantone scores. And so Weininger reaches on an error. And of course, Keister advancing to third. So the lead grows to 5-0 now for the home team.
That's 3 errors in this game for PBA. 5 of them in the span of 3 games.
Mariah Galehouse, the batter, and you see that one get away. And Keister scores. And in the process, Cameron Weininger advances to second. And Galehouse with a shot. That one's dropped by Rodriguez. And so Galehouse is going to reach on what should be scored an error on Evany Rodriguez.
Yeah, it'll be an E6 on that one. I don't know what's going on, Bruce. The first game, they were relatively executing. The second game, it seems like butter has been glazed onto the gloves. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the sunlight that is shining upon their head, but Perez, the infield,
and nicely caught there off the bat of Lexi Chevalier.
Just having a hard time trying to execute, Bruce.
2 outs. But the Spartans have scored 5 runs, I'm going to say so far, in this inning. A 6-0 lead overall. And we're going to get a change here as Avery Perkins is going to come into bat for UT. And, you know, we saw injury problems, 2 of the Sailfish players leaving the game, and then things just went from bad to worse, kind of compounded. Each error, I think, just squashed their confidence further and further down.
I think that's a fair statement to put into account. You know, definitely something that's unexpected can have an effect on the mentality of as a whole.
I say this a lot in instances like this, but there's not too many games where you're going to commit 4 errors and win. Yes, there's still a lot of softball left to be played, but at this rate, I think the Sailfish are their own worst enemy.
Yes, it's definitely all a mental game, and you referenced this in the first game. It's all about sports psychology, and you can see the Spartans are definitely just they're outwitting them in this mentally. It's all about the mind and the muscle connection. And the Spartans are definitely just executing more.
So Avery Perkins pinch hitting here. Count 2-2 against her and chops that one. Fielded and not going to be thrown in time. Do they get the play at the plate? They do. She's out. Cameron Weininger, you could hear her yelling at the home plate umpire safe, but he was in perfect position to make the call. So a big, big second inning by UT.
So Bruce, I'll be an E4 on Sibbett, but nevertheless, she did make it up to get that last out. But 5 errors in 1 inning. Wow.
And we'll be back with more. Top of the third coming up on TampaSpartans.tv. Back here starting the top of the third. And Kate DeSimone sends the first pitch in. The batter is Sammy Perez. DeSimone, 1-0, winds, delivers, and does just catch the strike zone for the count to go even. And that one's fouled back to the screen. And if there were any nerves whatsoever from Kate DeSimone, I think she's exhaled greatly.
Yes.
Thanks to her offense doing so much.
Well, she has a very uplifting spirit just naturally with her personality. I've seen the chemistry with her teammates. She's definitely one of the most personable people on the team. Very expressionate, so she's definitely the heart and soul of this Tampa Spartans softball team.
And a swing and a miss by Sammy Perez as she goes down as the latest strikeout victim. And we see little Kendall Bear strolling to the plate, all of 5'0". Kendall Bear 0 for 1 in this game. And a strike there. DeSimone has 3 strikeouts so far. Wines delivers, and that one's up on the corner for ball 2.
Good selection by DeSimone. You know, definitely lefties like that high and outside. She's really trying to taunt. She's really trying to taunt Bear with this one. Let's see if she could. No, she's not beating, but there's a strike right there.
That's going to be up high for ball 3. As much as you look at that scoreboard and the score jumps out at you 7-0, it's the 5 in terms of the amount of errors committed by Palm Beach Atlantic. That's really glaring. Here's the 3-2. And
I think that glazed her, Bruce. Yep.
Yeah, either way, Kendall Bear was going to end up on first base because that was outside. It was going to be ball 4. Did it hit her? I'm not sure. But the Sailfish get a runner aboard either way. And so now we're going to see Bree Rodriguez, the left fielder. And there's a strike.
Right on that outside corner.
And that's a strike. And Bree Rodriguez
Good
sense
eye.
a little bit of frustration from her.
Good eye but from Chevalier, almost getting that outing on first base.
And that one's fouled off. Bree Rodriguez staying alive here in this at-bat in the top of the third. And that one's going to be caught. And what a great play. Great play by Lauren Fantone. So the ball was not caught by Fantone, but she is able to make the play to get the lead runner And thus, Bree Rodriguez is aboard at first base. 2 outs for the Sailfish. And batting is Dalen Hetmanik. Takes for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike 2. And DeSimone 1 strike away from ending this top of the 3rd inning. And that's going to be a base hit, however. Sailfish stay alive as Hetmanik with a single to left field. So runners at first and second as Ebony Rodriguez steps into the batter's box. She is the number 4 hitter, 0 for 1 so far in this game.
Rodriguez batting .310 on the season, 683 OPS. Has 4 RBIs on the season, potentially 5 if she can reel in a run here.
Swings and misses. 0-2.
I believe DeSimone, her fastballs are mid-70s, I would say. Probably late 70s. Yeah. Very fast.
Popped out of play. And so Ebony Rodriguez lives to see another pitch, at least for this top of the 3rd. Her team trails 7-0 after a 6-run bottom of the 2nd by UT. And DeSimone just misses high for ball 1. And sent to right field. Galehouse under that one. And that'll be out number 3. So Palm Beach Atlantic is done batting in the top of the 3rd. No runs on 1 hit. No Spartan errors. And 2 Sailfish runners left on base. Through 2.5, the Spartans lead at 7-0. We'll be back with more on TampaSpartans.tv. Changes continue here as the Spartans get ready to bat in the bottom of the 3rd. We have another new pitcher for Palm Beach Atlantic. It's going to be Ashlyn Storms and Leslie Cantor changing things up offensively for UT as Alyssa Carfora.
Alyssa Carfora, Alyssa Carfora out of Middletown, New Jersey, attended Middletown High School South. Junior, 5'8",
bounces it, and thrown over to first by Storms for out number 1 in this bottom of the third. And Carfora goes back to the Spartans dugout as Steph Ballmer into the batter's box. Ballmer, strike 1. Count even. Ashland Storms ready right away. Sends in ball 2. Followed back here to the screen. See the home plate umpire doing a little repair work there. Tyrone Miller. And that one's up high. Count goes full on Steph Ballmer. And that one goes foul. So Ballmer will go all the way back to the batter's box. And so now again, the 3-2 pitch to Ballmer, and has to duck out of the way. And she will take first base. On a base on balls, a similar play to what we saw when Palm Beach Atlantic was batting, where you couldn't tell if it was a hit by pitch or just flat out ball 4. And either way, Steph Ballmer is the Spartans' first base runner of this happening.
Yeah, we don't want to see a lot of, inaccurate pitches like that. We like to see more accurate pitches, but nevertheless, we hope that as many batters as possible don't get hit. As we've seen with Larkin Maceda, she was very, very shaken up. Her left shoulder, she couldn't even get to the bag. So we'll see if she's ready to go and if we have any more injury updates on that.
We're back to the top of the Spartans order. Lauren Fantone led off the game with a walk and then reached on an error in the second. Sends this one to left field and caught out there on the run by Bree Rodriguez for out number 2. Steph Ballmer holds at first. Lily Keister was scheduled to be the batter. I think we might be getting another pinch hitter, perhaps. And then unofficially, I'm going to say Devin Hammonds. And indeed, that change is being made. Devin Hammonds will come in to hit instead of Lily Keister. First pitch to Hammonds, strike 1. Important, Brandon, even when your team is up 7-0, you're sitting on the bench, you're not one of the players that's in the game, you still have to keep your head in the game. All of a sudden, in a case like this, your coach calls on you and you go, I'm batting now. There's a pitch that gets away and you see Ballmer advancing to second.
Yeah, this is Hammond's third at bat of the season. So, but she's ready to go. She's ready to go. Like I previously mentioned, I've seen the Tampa Spartans play, and she was in the outfield. She was ready to go. Lester Cancer consoling with her. It's all about reps, Bruce. Once you're in the continuance of just practicing, you always want to be ready.
So a passed ball there by Madison Schlichte, and Ballmer now over at third. And the next pitch to Devin Hammonds. Swung on and missed. Count goes even 2-2. 2 outs. 2-2 pitch is high and outside for ball 3. Hammonds waits. Here comes the pitch. And that one's low for ball 4. And so Devin Hammonds draws the walk. UT with runners on the corners. And that brings up Alexa Russo. Russo, a ground out to short in the first. And she had an RBI. Flew to right field in the second. This one is fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, you could tell by that swing and by that foul tip. She really tried to rip that. Get a little bit. She got a little bit too much on it. Too under it, but
that one's low and away for ball 1.
Russo 389, batting 389.
5
RBIs.
Swung on, and that's going to be fielded nicely by Sammy Perez for out number 3. So they keep the Spartans off the scoreboard for the first time in this game. They get no runs and no hits. There were no sailfish errors and 2 runners left on base. We're through 3 complete. UT up 7-0. Back with more on TampaSpartans.tv.
No, I'm just saying, like, I was in the practice and I was talking with some of them, and just, yeah, she's very vibrant, very expressional, so yeah, she's very funny. I met her like a couple occasions.
Is it 6?
Oh, you was asking if I was like actually telling the truth? Yeah, I was.
I wouldn't have to tell the truth. I'm just saying that it sounds like you must have gotten the opportunity to meet her.
Yeah. Actually, Devin's in my class. Devin Hammonds.
What's happening? Oh, okay. Because I thought it was black here.
Devin Hammonds, I've been in 4 classes with her. I'm a senior. So we've been in the same class for basically 4 straight semesters. So spring 2022, fall, no, actually no, 3.
And back here at the Namoli Family Stadium, I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Brandon Davis. And the Spartans in the driver's seat here, up 7-0 after 3 innings. And number 7 in the circle for the Spartans, Kate DeSimone. That will be ball 1 to the catcher, Madison Schlichty. Only 2 hits in the game for the visitors. They've committed 5 errors. And the home team really broke things open in the bottom of the second. 6 of their 7 runs. And here's the 1-1 to Schlichty. Strike 2. The 1-2 followed back to the screen. Brandon, if DeSimone can keep this up, this will be a real shot in the arm for her, a nice confidence builder.
Yeah. She's 50 pitches, 4th inning. She's really pitching at a good rate.
That's outside for ball 2.
But look at the way she slides back and explodes as she releases her pitch.
Another one back to the screen as Schlichte stays alive. And this is a tall order for Palm Beach Atlantic. Playing on the road, third game in less than 24 hours, down 7-0. Tough to really summon up what might be needed if they're going to stage any kind of a comeback. Let's see how Schlichte does here, the full count pitch. Fouls it off. Three-two once again. And that's ball 4. And DeSimone issues her first walk of the game. As we'll see, the number 6 hitter, Rhiannon Sibbett, who, as I mentioned, comes from about as far away from here as possible, all the way up in the Pacific Northwest, Kelso, Washington. Probably not a tough decision to go play college softball down in the Sunshine State. Her first at-bat of this game. And here's the 0-1 to her. Ball 1.
Fourth at-bat in this season, Bruce.
And here's the 1-1 and strike 2. Sibbett looking down third base line at her coach for some instructions. And now ready for DeSimone's next offering. Swings and foul tip. Sibbett will stay alive. And here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed. And that'll be the 4th strikeout of the game registered by Kate DeSimone. That brings up Bella O'Connor.
O'Connor batting .214. Getting on base had a good statistic of .590, but
great pitch by DeSimone. The Spartans will go on the road. Their next action will be next Friday. That's the 3rd of March. As you see the next pitch for ball 1. UT will travel up to Daytona Beach and take on Embry-Riddle at 6 p.m. next Friday. And that will actually be considered their first road game of the season. They've played 3 neutral site games, so those don't officially go in the away column. UT will stay up there in Daytona Beach and play a doubleheader the next day. That's 1 week from today against Embry-Riddle, before coming back home for a Tuesday, March 7 doubleheader against Southwest Minnesota State. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on and missed. And down goes Bella O'Connor as the 5th strikeout victim of the game. Kate DeSimone really finding her groove now.
Really finding her groove as the strikeouts are really coming more frequently. You can see in her pitch and her confidence, she's really, really coming alive here.
This is Gracie Mullet popping it up and not caught. A diving attempt by
Russo.
Alexa Russo.
Yeah.
Gracie Mullet, the Sailfish right fielder. She's 0 for 1 in this game. And lines out directly to Gabby Mack to end the Sailfish 4th inning. Visitors had no runs and no hits. There were no Spartan errors and 1 runner left on base. We'll be back with the bottom of the 4th here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Cameron Weininger to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th. And ball 1 to her. And ball 2 now. And into the hole goes Ashlyn Storms, the 3rd Sailfish pitcher of the game. 3-0. And does find the strike zone there. Cameron Weininger from nearby, just over in Plant City, albeit a transfer student from Memphis. And she is successful reaching base here to start the bottom of the 4th. Mariah Galehouse to the plate. Weininger walks. Galehouse fouls one over towards the Palm Beach Atlantic dugout. The 0-1. Low and away for ball 1. Galehouse 0 for 2 in this game. Swings, follows that one down the left field line. Plenty of umbrellas up in the seating area. Fans keeping the sun out on what's just been a beautiful Saturday. Great day for softball. 1-2, low and away, and the count goes even to Mariah Galehouse. And they are watching Weininger down at first closely. And Galehouse fouls that one towards her own dugout. You see the score has been corrected to 6-0. A 5-run bottom of the second, not 6.
Seems like we'll have a pinch runner for the on-deck batter. I think Kaylee Ellsworth will be coming on.
As you see, drawing the walk, Mariah Galehouse. So runners at first and second as indeed Brandon Leslie Cantor with another pinch hitter, Kaylee Ellsworth, as you mentioned.
Yeah. She'll come in for Chevalier
instead of Lexi Chevalier. And regardless of that correction being made and our score, quote unquote, only being 6-0 instead of 7-0, still a very comfortable lead for the home team, and things just have not broken Palm Beach Atlantic's way whatsoever, committing 5 errors in this game. And the second inning was just a case of when it rains it pours, no weather pun intended. Things went from bad to worse. The Sailfish lost 2 players to injury and then just compounded their woes by committing one error after the next. And so Kaylee Ellsworth ready to face Ashland Storms. That's going to be a ball. Mariah Galehouse, the runner, at first, and Cameron Weininger at second. And the bunt dropped down by Ellsworth. A freshman from Merritt Island, Florida. And the next pitch to her fouls it back to the screen.
She's getting her 3rd at-bat on the season, so relatively new. Do you know what Merritt Island is? Would you know, Bruce?
Let's wait for this next pitch. 1-2 up high. And so the count goes even. And this is going to give her some confidence because, as you mentioned, her third at-bat of the season. And to work this one the way she has, and that one, nice play there, although it goes foul. And as I was saying, working this at-bat as long as she has, and only her 3rd at-bat of the season, she'd love to reach base here, if not convert one of these runners, but got to be feeling good about herself as the count now goes full. And sends that one to right field, and it goes foul and not caught. And really turning this into quite a long at-bat.
You could tell, even as a freshman, she's a fighter. 3-2 count, relatively new to this team. She has a good opportunity here to get some extra runs in.
And now that one will be thrown over to second. They go back to first, and do they get the double play? They do. So certainly not the result that Ellsworth wanted, but still give her credit nonetheless. As you mentioned, only her 3rd at-bat of the season, and just good to get that experience. Merritt Island up in the greater, let's call it Daytona Beach area, and now here she is playing her college softball and gets a good at-bat there that didn't end the way she would have liked, but now it's followed up by Kylie Seawick driving in what will be the 7th run of the game. And so UT gets back on the scoreboard again. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th, we're going to see Gabby Mack and pops it up and caught by Kendall Bear for out number 3, but not before the Spartans tack on another run. They get 1 run on 1 hit. There were no sailfish errors and 1 runner left on base. Through 4 complete, Spartans 7-0. More on the way here on TampaSpartans.tv. And we're back at the Namoli Family Stadium. The Spartans comfortably in the lead 7-0 as we start the top of the 5th, and a pitching change for the home team as head coach Leslie Cantor gives a nice pat on the back to Kate DeSimone, and instead we're going to see Gwen McGinnis, the freshman from up in the state capital, Tallahassee, coming in to take over in the circle for the home team in the top of the 5th, and her first pitch is outside for ball 1 to the batter, Sammy Perez, who is 0 for 1 in this game by way of a strikeout in the 3rd. And the second pitch from McGinnis, and that's going to be strike 1. And that's going to be out number 1. Couldn't tell if Russo actually caught that.
No, it grounded first, and then Russo scooped it up, and then right to Gabby Mack.
That brings up Kendall Bear. And so McGinnis retires the first batter she faces.
So McGinnis, this is her 3rd appearance, has 1 win under her belt, 7 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. As you see, Coach Leslie Cantor bringing in more freshmen in to get more repetitions.
You saw Bear foul that one off. So the 2-1 now. And she looks at that one for ball 3. Swung on, fouled back. The count goes full. And if you're into numerology, the scoreboard reads 4-3-2-1. Uniform number 4, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. McGinnis delivers and swung on and missed. And Kendall Bear strikes out against Gwen McGinnis.
Good way to set the tone. Her first batter of the day, second batter of the day, but 6 strikeout on the season.
And the first pitch to Bree Rodriguez who is 0 for 2 in this game. And now the 1-0. Chopped. Balmer at short. Nice play. Over to first to Gabby Mack. Very quickly. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no Spartan errors, and no sailfish runners left on base. We will be back with the bottom of the 5th. Spartans in a 7-0 lead. This is TampaSpartans.tv.
Pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back here at the Namoli Family Stadium. And Mackenzie Allen, the batter for UT, as head coach Leslie Cantor continues to make all kinds of changes. This is the spot in the order where we had seen Steph Ballmer hitting, the number 9 slot. Mackenzie Allen, now a grad student, pops that one up and under it, and catching out number 1, Bree Rodriguez. That will put us back to the top of the order. And once again, instead of Lauren Fantone, freshman Ashley Manti will step into the batter's box. She promptly gets a base hit.
Good rip, very patient, right on the money. Didn't do too much, was very simplistic with her approach and gets on base.
So UT has had plenty of base runners today, and Ashley Manti is the latest as the Spartans record hit number 7 on the day. Devin Hammonds into the batter's box. Hammonds, we saw her walk back in the 3rd inning. As you see the count go to 2-0 against the sophomore here in the 5th. And just catches for strike 1.
Well, it was a late call on that one. I really thought it was going to be a ball, but I think the slap hitting kind of messes up the call when it comes to the umpire making his calls.
Ooh. And jumping up from her catching position, Madison Schlichte looked like she was going to fire down to first base. If nothing else, they keep Ashley Manti honest down there. And now the 2-2. And staying alive, Devin Hammonds, as the count is full. Here comes the 3-2, and that'll be ball 4. The Spartans will have runners at first and second with just 1 out. And they already lead in this game 7-0. Alexa Russo, who is 0 for 2 in this game. It's actually her 4th plate appearance of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Russo, a shot that gets to left center field, and that's going to be extra bases and mishandled out there. And so the Spartans get another run as Alexa Russo in standing up at second base. And by way of the run-ahead rule, that is going to end our game.
I guess that's the mercy rule, yeah.
So the Spartans win it by the run-ahead rule, as that run that crosses the plate makes it 8-0. And so the Spartans sweep the 3-game series from Palm Beach Atlantic, and perhaps more importantly, in the process, they stay unbeaten on the season.
Yes, yes. A very, very, very strong start by the Spartans. This is the first encounter of the SEC Conference in this new season, and they really came with a strong performance, very overly prepared. As you can see, the Sailfish were not so as much, but the Spartans, yes, they came with a lot of urgency, a lot of ferocity, and they were very in tune with their team and chemistry-wise. So, yeah, Bruce, it was a very, very overall good team performance, not just from this game, but for overall in the weekend as they close out the sweep.
The Sailfish, of course, did themselves in. The final line score for them, no runs on 2 hits, 5 errors. UT gets 8 runs on 8 hits. They committed no errors. The Spartans go to 8-0 on the season as they sweep 3 games from Palm Beach Atlantic in less than 24 hours. And as I mentioned before, the Spartans will now go on the road. They play next weekend 3 games up in Daytona Beach at Embry-Riddle, a 6 p.m. first pitch on Friday the 3rd. And then on Saturday, March 4th, a doubleheader with the first game starting at 12 noon. Tuesday, March 7 is when the Spartans will be back here at the Namoli Family Stadium, a 3 o'clock game against Southwest Minnesota State in what will be the first of a doubleheader. And Brandon, how are things looking for the Sailfish?
So the Sailfish, their next encounter will be with Nova Southeastern. I believe the number 2 in the SEC Conference. Nova Southeastern, March 3rd, Friday at 6 p.m. That will be a 3-game series. They have a doubleheader March 4th, 12 p.m. and at 2 p.m. That is March 3rd, Friday at 6 p.m. and March 4th, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. for the Sailfish against the Nova Southeastern Sharks.
So in Game 2, the doubleheader, the Spartans win it by way of the run-ahead rule, 8-0. For Brandon Davis, I'm Bruce Wozniak, thanking you for watching, and we appreciate it here on TampaSpartans.tv.